Hi everybody. So we're continuing to work in the very beginning stages of the firewall. So the two channels that you see me, or the two pieces that you see me working on there, form kind of the footwell separator in the cockpit between the pilot and co-pilot. This little tunnel serves many purposes. There's going to be some heat shrouding in there because the exhaust is going to be directly beneath it. It's also going to have some fuel lines, the fuel connector and fuel pump and fuel filter will be up in there. Bunch of electrics going back and forth from the front to basically all of the electrics, right? The walls are going to be, the walls are just going to be sheets. Yeah, there's going to be some heavy angle pieces across the side sheets. The sides of the plane. But like no place where you can dedicate a lot of wire, right? You got wire to the wings, you got wire to the tail, various antenna. You got to put them somewhere, so that goes through here too. And so it's the usual stuff, just deburr. It's a lot of a sub-assembling. So that's the thing about, these aren't the wings anymore. This is the fuselage where everything's basically a small sub-assembly that then get attached to something else. And then there's a bunch of stiffeners and then skin. So, I kind of miss the wings. Ribs, skin, spar, it's all good. Various small and sundries. So it's harder to keep up with what I'm trying to actually do. So on this, there's dimpling, there's deburring everywhere, nut plates, and then you put on some specialty brackets. One thing I am doing is I'm not priming everything as thoroughly as I was doing before. When I say thoroughly, I've been trying to be good and only prime the surfaces that are actually being mated to other metals, right? Yeah, and so anyway, I don't want to waste the primer, extra weight on bare metal for no reason. Besides, this is the inside of the fuselage. This is going to get a nice priming, not sure what color, and a nice finish coat, also not sure what color. All the colors I've left up to my wife. She's known about it for 2 years and hasn't done jack. But I love her anyway. Love you, baby. There's is Mr. Derek has stopped by. I call him officer, first officer. He looks like a cop, and he's a first officer. So, yeah, so what I'm doing is adding stiffeners and then working on a couple of uprights. So there's a couple of stiffeners that go around the hole, and then there's a couple of uprights that get attached to the opposite side of those runners. Those connect directly to the firewall. And those kind of help connect the side. It gives it a lot of strength because they're very thick, but it also gives it a connection with both the runners and the firewall itself. And that's something about the Vans kits that's very interesting. You're building an entire airplane, and every part is, it's a little unique. Tail cone's a whole bunch of different stuff. You got different kinds of control surfaces, and no two are built the same way, and stabilizers, and that's all fun. But then you've got stuff like you go to the wings, and now all of a sudden everything's completely different. It's all one giant repetitive monster, and then you go to the fuselage, and it's like WTF. At this point, there's a method in the madness. The tail cone's not really that difficult. Control surfaces and something to stick them on. That's all it really is. And a light. And then you get to the wings, and it's just a total whatever. All I'm saying is there's a method in preparing your skills by the time you get to the fuselage, because it all comes in here, right? Anyway. So yeah, firewall stuff. There you can see the uprights. Thank you for joining me. In the next video, we will start putting a lot of this stuff together. So I'll see you soon.